Hey everybody, it's me, Knockoff Critical here. Today I'm going to be talking about a subject that literally no one asked, no one cares about ever, but I'm going to talk about it because I think it's incredibly important for the world to hear. All right? No, I'm just playing. I really don't want to do that voice the whole time, and I'm pretty sure it's not even that accurate. Hello everybody, my name is Waifu. Welcome back to the channel. Movies. I wanted to do a whole video talking about the entirety of my movie collection, where I want it to go in the future, and stuff like that. Because honestly, I don't really have a ton of movies. It's not like the action figure collection that was like 40 some figures. I have like 11 movies total, I think, if that. I don't have many. I kind of want to go through though, talk about them, talk about what I want to collect. I think I'm going to save that for another day though, because today is the big day. So, if you don't have Instagram, you've probably never seen these reels of Goose from Top Gun Maverick. I'm sure everyone's seen Top Gun Maverick. Goose, basically playing the drums with J. Jonah Jameson from Spider-Man. If you haven't, I am incredibly surprised. I don't know if my phone is like listening to me or something. It just kind of does. But I didn't knew I didn't know I didn't know I needed this movie in my life. I genuinely didn't. In fact, when I went to actually watch this movie, my expectations were so low because I just assumed this movie was going to be a lot worse than people said it was. I could not have been more wrong. So, I'm sure you can tell by the title. The movie we're going to be talking about today is a movie called Whiplash, starring J.K. Simmons as Thomas? Question mark. I honestly don't remember a lot of the character names, so I'm going to be saying actors. By actors, I mean I remember the names of everyone but J.K. Simmons' character. Yep. So because I don't have like a dead set formula down for the movie reviews thing, and this is still technically part of the conversation series, which if you haven't already, this is episode 10. Thank you, by the way. I would have never have gotten this far if it weren't for all your guys' support. So I really appreciate it. Oh my god, my hair. So like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment if you really want to. I don't know. If you want to, I guess. Um, let's just get right into it, I guess. I don't know. Spoiler warning, by the way. If you want my unspoiler opinion review, go watch it. 10 out of 10. Would recommend. It is fantastic. It has 10 out of 10 cinematography. It makes the Batman look like a Cartoon Network show. It's fantastic. It's one of the greatest movies I've ever seen in my life. It very easily made it into my top 5. It's fantastic. 10 out of 10. Please go watch it. It's amazing. It's called Whiplash. It came out in 2014. Go check it out. All right? All right. Spoiler time. Oh boy. This movie's fantastic. I know I literally just said that, but this is, again, one of the greatest movies I've ever seen in my life. I just watched it recently, and by recently I mean like an hour ago. And holy heck. I can't curse because of YouTube. I would have said the other H word, but Susan. Wait, no, she stepped down. I don't know the new guy's name. Let's just keep blaming Susan. I don't even know where to start. First off, the cinematography. Oh my god. It's not something that a lot of people look at when it comes to a movie, especially considering cinematography is something very taken for granted, I would say, in today's society. Today's like film world. Absolutely, cinematography is taken for granted. People just, a lot of the movies that you guys think are like fantastic movies, like amazing movies, like more than half of the Marvel movies have really awful cinematography. Like, I'm not even like trying to take a dig at Marvel like I typically do. It just has bad cinematography. It just doesn't look good. And I feel like when it comes down to a stylistic standpoint, a movie like this would be still really good without the cinematography that it has. But the cinematography, I think, is the thing that takes this movie to 10. And you're really not going to understand it until you watch it, because I feel like, again, there aren't many directors who come in with this kind of style, and it's just fantastic. It's very similar to Zack Snyder's films in some of the shots and the way that they're portrayed. I'm not saying every way, because Zack Snyder is a comic book movie, superhero movie, action movie director, and this is not an action movie. This is a drama. This is a heart and soul movie, and it shows. Like, from the get-go, everything that happens in this movie is just crazy from the get-go, and the cinematography paints it. The opening shot is amazing. The opening shot is amazing. It's one of the greatest opening shots to a movie I have ever seen, next to the Batman. And I rag a lot on the Batman. I do, because honestly, when it comes down to it, I don't really like it as a movie. I think the cinematography is also a 10 out of 10. It's fantastic. It's amazing. It's one of the greatest movies I've ever seen visually. But I just don't love it as a movie, right? This is honestly completely different. I love this as a movie, and I love the cinematography even more. This movie made me want to go to film school. No lie. The cinematography in this movie was incredible. Incredible. One of the greatest, easily one of the best cinematography. Well, I can't even say like straight sentences anymore. Like, that's how fantastic the movie was. Just thinking about it just got my brain like absolutely like totaled. There are so many scenes. Again, spoiler warning for some reason if you're still here. Scenes like the opening shot, the bloody scene. Well, both of the bloody scenes. The scene where he first gashes open his whatever this is. The second scene where he actually ends up getting hit by a truck. It's fantastic. The scenes where he's actually performing is even better, because you could see the reaction of the characters, which next up is the acting. Oh my god! I feel like J.K. Simmons is never given enough. Like, when it comes to his voice acting, fantastic. He has one of the greatest voices of all time. Omni-Man in Invincible, in case you didn't know, is voiced by J.K. Simmons. And it is so good. It is amazing. It is... J.K. Simmons is a fantastic actor, and he's underused. And he's already, I believe he's 68. He's already almost like... I don't want to speak ill in that kind of sense, because this is like really awful to say. We don't have him for much longer, and we're not utilizing him at all. Like, this is an actor who needs to be put to use. Like, what is this guy known for? Because he's not known for Whiplash. He's kind of known for Omni-Man. He's known as the Spider-Man reporter. He's known as the Spider-Man reporter. Give him some more roles before he has to go. I pray he doesn't leave us this soon, especially after seeing this movie. But, oh my god. He can convey so much. He can go from 100 to 0 or 0 to 100 in the snap of a finger. I can't even explain some of the things that this guy did for this movie. It's insane. It just shows how amazing of a talented actor he is. And he's not even the main focus of this movie. That goes to the character Andrew, played by Goose from Top Gun Maverick. You might also know him as Reed Richards in the awful Fantastic Four reboot. Wow. Every scene with this character feels real. It feels raw, and it feels like I'm in the room with him. I was smiling through the whole movie. I know I shouldn't have been, because it's like really dramatic and really depressing for a lot of it. But a lot of like the movie critic in me could not stop smiling. It was just like, this is amazing. It's so good. So good. So, take a step back from that. We have the two main actors. Like, you have Goose or Andrew, and you have J.K. Simmons' character. Really, the only other characters that I would say are important to the movie is Nicole, played by Supergirl's actress. I like 99% sure. If not, they must be separated at birth. And you have Andrew's father, played by I have no idea. Those two actors those two other characters are also done so well. I mean, Nicole's character, one of the things that I loved about this movie was the relationship with him and Nicole. And going back and watching some reviews before I actually put my review together, because I like to do that, I kind of like to get other people's opinions before I kind of just go into a deep dive on mine. Or, worst comes to worst, I'll just make a revision. People didn't like how underutilized Nicole was, and I completely disagree. I could not disagree more. Nicole's character in this movie is perfect. What, we see her 3 times throughout the course of this movie. We see her once when she is first introduced. We see her again when she and him, get together and go out on a date. And then, well, I guess that's technically 4 times because those are 2 different scenes. And then we don't see her again until they break up. Which is crazy to me how amazing that is. Because, and there's a scene at the end where he ends up calling her. And he's like, hey, I'm going to be performing at the show, you should show up. And when he actually gets to the show during the final act of the movie, he sits down, he kind of looks into the crowd, and you can't really see anything because it's dark. My initial reaction, because every other movie does this, is, okay, they're just going to pan to a picture. They don't pan to a picture of her in the crowd. At all. In fact, the scenes, there is no scene in this movie where Andrew is not a part of it. The camera will change in a particular scene, in a particular moment. It will change from person to person or thing to thing, but the movie never not has Andrew in it. If something is happening, it's about Andrew, and there are so many different movies and so many different moments where you have so many different characters being panned to. You have so many different scenes changing because they're trying to build things up. It isn't about any of that. It isn't about Nicole, and that's why I think it's so perfect. Her character is so perfect. The movie isn't about Nicole. In fact, it's about him losing Nicole. And once he cuts that off, it's gone. It's done. It's over. He doesn't have another option anymore. He tries to call her back because he's like, I screwed up. I messed up with this girl. No, it's over. It's gone. He's done. He has nothing anymore. He doesn't get the girl in the end. The girl's already moved on. She's gone. And he has to accept that. The whole point of this movie is him literally sacrificing everything for his dream. He sacrifices friendships, he sacrifices relationships, well, technically, you might be like, oh, he doesn't sacrifice any friendships. He really kind of doesn't have any friends from the beginning, which is something that's explained in the movie. He doesn't have any friends because he's chasing his passion. That's the whole reason he doesn't have any friends. He doesn't have any friends because he's too busy chasing his passion, chasing what he wants. So he sacrifices his friendships, he sacrifices his relationships, he basically sacrifices his relationships at home, even though he doesn't really want to have any. His mom left when he was young, something that is thrown in his face a lot by J.K. Simmons' character. And the kind of everything that goes on with that is just like, like his family kind of treats him like garbage. Everyone else is better than him. And eventually I feel like he kind of snaps because of it. I think definitely J.K. Simmons' character is his breaking point. Absolutely. And I think that's one of the most important things about this movie. But it's also that everything around him isn't necessarily working. Some of it is his fault. Some of it really isn't his fault. It's not his fault his mom left. It's not his fault, his family doesn't like him. It is his fault he refuses to have any friends. Or maybe it isn't. Maybe people just don't want to hang out with him, don't like him. It is his fault the relationship with his girlfriend fell apart because he was the one who basically, tore it down. Then you have J.K. Simmons as the breaking point for this movie. And it's like, wow. This... I would argue, like everything about this movie is almost perfect. It's very rare that I give 10 out of 10s. It's very rare. Even for my favorite movie of all time is Man of Steel, in case you don't already know. Favorite movie of all time. I have seen it probably 30, 40 times at this point. Like, I have seen it a ridiculous amount. I love it to death. It's one of my favorite movies. It is my favorite movie of all time. I don't even think Man of Steel it gets a 10. I think it gets a 9.5. Because I think there are so many amazing things about the movie, and one day I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do like a deep dive into why I love Man of Steel. But Whiplash gets a 10 out of 10. The story, the acting, the characters, the cinematography. It's weird because I don't have an actual like formula yet. I want to do professional movie reviews and go in depth on movie reviews, and this is more of just me ranting about how amazing the movie is. And I don't even have a formula for it yet because I feel like that's really important, so that all of the movies, you know, are on a fair ground together. But like, I can't see this movie not getting a 10. And then people will say, like, oh, yeah, oh, it's a 10. And I didn't believe them. It's like, there's no way this movie can be a 10. And it is. It is one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. It's amazing. Without a shadow of a doubt, this movie is amazing. It's fantastic. It's everything I have ever wanted out of just a drama. And honestly, it's one of the most realistic movies in the sense that he doesn't win. He doesn't really win. He doesn't really lose. I mean, he kind of loses. He doesn't necessarily win. He's able to prove himself, to the most part, to his teacher. Proves himself, you know, to his dad. But most importantly, he proves it to himself that he is good enough. That he is going to be good enough. Everything after, you know, eventually he, after the car crash, he actually goes to the performance. Basically, like, immediately after the car crash, he just runs over to his performance and he still tries to perform half covered in blood. And it's amazing. Everything that happens after that, his life basically crumbles. And it's so good. The final scene of the movie is about basically, you know, J.K. Simmons' character is fired because Andrew places a report basically saying, hey, you know, he abuses his students and whatnot. And so eventually he gets fired and he comes down to plays in a jazz band, and then Andrew shows up and they see each other and he's like, you know, hey, I need a drummer. I need a drummer to come help out, and you know the music. You know things. And so Andrew's like, all right, yeah, sure, I'll do it. Yeah, I'll come. Yeah, I'll do it. Right? He shows up. He isn't given the correct music. He is made a fool of himself. Which I loved that plot twist, by the way. Loved it. It was such a good plot twist. It was such a good moment in this movie. It shows just how insane J.K. Simmons is. He's already lost. He's lost everything. It's over. He doesn't even mind making his band look bad just to dog on this guy. Just to dog on Andrew. As long as Andrew goes down, he doesn't care if he's going down anymore. Which is like a crazy 180 from the beginning of the movie. And a lot of people didn't even really realize it. He changes his his personality doesn't really change, but his actions kind of 180. And I think that's really, really interesting and really amazing. Like, it just shows the writing in this movie is amazing. Amazing. It's fantastic. If you haven't seen this movie and for some reason you just watch me, you know, rant about it the whole time, please go watch it. I feel like the only other thing to talk about is the music. I'll keep this part short and sweet. I don't want this to be a super long video. I don't want it to like take up all of your time. I want you guys to go enjoy yourselves. The music, if it doesn't need to be there, it's not there. And when it is there, it is very quiet. It's just barely noticeable. So I watched it on my Chromebook, which you can't. It's over there once again. You know, that's its typical spot. The speakers are actually on the bottom. And there were moments where I thought music was playing, but I couldn't tell, so I actually had to hold the speakers up to my ear, Which, by the way, if you watch this movie, if you don't have surround sound, please use headphones. This is a movie that you don't want to just have the audio coming out of your phone. You want to listen to everything. You want the spatial audio. It's amazing. I promise. Promise you it's amazing. It's just like, wow. Wow. Music is fantastic. I love the music. The actual band, I don't know if any of the characters actually had to learn the instruments that they ended up playing. If they did, wow. Wow. If they didn't, then they didn't. But, oh my god, sorry. Ah. It's amazing. It's one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. I literally just said that. Very quickly entered my top 5 favorite movies of all time, next to Top Gun Maverick, obviously Whiplash, Man of Steel, The Prestige, and Interstellar. Those are my top 5 movies of all time at the moment. Honestly, I don't think Whiplash is going anywhere. I don't think Man of Steel is really going anywhere. I don't think The Prestige is going anywhere. If any movies are getting out of here, it's Interstellar and Top Gun Maverick. And even then, I really have a hard time believing those movies are going anywhere. Because, oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah. Wow. Fantastic movie. Go give it a watch. It's amazing. Nothing in the description today. Just a couple of hashtags. I don't really have anything to link. This video should be coming out today, hopefully. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Tomorrow might be the first episode dedicated to the board game, ? Maybe, possibly. So we shall see. Go enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Thank you for listening to me rant on this goofy little movie. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to hit the like button, please. Getting a lot of views, but no likes. So hit the like button, please. Hit the notification bell to get notified every time I upload a brand new video. But you can only do that if you subscribe, and we are little under 100 million subscribers. Trying to pass Mr. Beast. So hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.